Hi, Adele.
Hello there, Vicki.
Welcome to Jane Ain't Done Yet for women who
Thank you.
still have cool stuff left to do.
Frankly, that's every woman, I would imagine, but some have just really firmly decided to get to some important things.
Yes, you and I included.
We are Jane. I feel like
Okay.
that's some like Helen Reddy song.
I am woman. That's what the hell already saw.
Oh my God. Okay, this is a Homer. You need to go away.
Is that the
Homer.
dog?
It's the dog. I love that dog. Just walked with him in the snow.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. He's just relentless. Okay. He's dogged. All right.
Nicely played. Today we're going to talk about
I
a bad weather forecaster.
you say, okay, Vicki, a bad weather forecaster.
So I have a friend who says quite often, I'm just cursed with bad luck. I'm unlucky. I'm just one of those people who has bad luck. And it never sits right with me because it's a really negative space to stay in. My flight will be delayed, or I'm not going to get the job. They won't hire me. I won't get promoted, just to constantly be living in that negativity. So it's fate or it's luck. And that's what determines an action. You're not believing that you have control over your own actions to create your own luck.
I agree and disagree, right? We
Let's
don't
hear it.
really have something called control. We have elements of influence. And I think that's what being a forecaster is about, declaring that negative things happen or will happen. And I want to try to stay away from the word energetic just because it's so
Overused.
overused. It's just like, what does that even mean? But what I'd like to define that as, or address what we're talking about, is your mindset, which is your self-talk is a part of, and whether that's not, to yourself or others, it impacts your psyche and impacts physically how you go forward. And it also impacts others in how they respond to you.
Yes. So you said physically could cause anxiety, could cause chronic stress.
Yeah. Or even just your body posture, right? Even how you're maybe going to walk into a room, and that will then precipitate how someone sees you, responds to you.
Right.
We are animals. We feel someone's presence sometimes before someone has walked in the room. Like if you're sitting in church and someone's staring at you, you don't have to be looking at them to know they're staring at you. Our senses are picking up on a lot. And so as an operator in that space, you have to be aware of what you've come into the space with. Like if you're going for an interview and you're that, oh, I never get the job I want. Be very aware of how you're carrying yourself, how your demeanor, and even maybe your word choice plays out based on that mindset.
And that ties into what you just said about the job interview, and you walk in and you're slumped or you're standing up thinking, maybe I have this opportunity. Some of that is confirmation bias, where if you think that curse with bad luck, your brain looks for evidence of that.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what do you want to highlight, right? So we're talking about mindset, attitude, self-talk, and attention. Like where you put your attention, actions follow. And what follows actions are results and
Opportunities.
opportunities.
And you become more open, you create an open space for opportunities.
Mhm.
So how do we relate this to our Janes?
Well, I'm going to let you do that because nothing's coming to mind. Not because nothing relates, just because I wasn't quite yet at that point. Yeah, hold on a second. I'm going to tie it to answering your question. I think we can never, ever forget the power of what we choose to say about ourselves and what we choose to give attention to. They're like seeds to what we want to grow.
Mm. I love that. It's better than what I was going to come up with.
And I think that for women who are about to or in the process of starting something new, the seed is that generative step. And if you choose the right seeds, and again, you might plant a few seeds. Don't freak out if you are from that negative space, or you're planting green beans and also you decide you want tomatoes. But, overall, be careful of that garden, what you're sowing it with, to make sure your next chapter is really fertile and fruitful.
I like the analogy. It's a reminder to encourage you not to hang on to that self-doubt, to plant your seeds, to grow from that planting, to trust yourself.
And I think the job interview is a great one. I'll go back to the writer example because that's what I'm up to. I could get bogged down with a forecast of no one's going to want my book. So why do I bother to send it out? Right. So it can also just stop you. The negative forecasting can stop you from even starting. Right. Or, oh, someone wrote a similar book, or, oof, God, that person's writing so much better. Or even psyching yourself out against your own work. It was interesting. I helped a friend set up her painting studio last week, and she's an accomplished painter, but she's needed to get set up again because all her supplies have been moved, and she has a show coming up in the summer, and she needs to get going. And with us was another friend who's a professional painter, as well as my other friend. And my friend put up her old painting, like decorating her space. And the other painter said, no, 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 no. You want a blank canvas. Now, this might not be true for everybody, but I think it goes in this forecasting vein. And she went on to say, you don't want to look at that painting that you've put up and say, well, no one bought that when I had the last show. Or, God, that was so good. I don't think I can do that again. So partly your environment, right? What you're choosing to let influence you in plain sight, or what you're choosing to read, or who you're hanging out with, will feed into whether you're forecasting in ways that are beneficial to you.
Forecast.
So
Sunny days
the funny
ahead.
thing